Fuck. What's up, boys?
What's up?
Hey.
How we doing?
How we doing? Hey, how you doing?
We're doing all right.
Oh,
It's hot as shit. It
I
fucking
heard
flooded here today, baby.
Yeah, are you all right? I heard the old St. Louis got fucking like what, 8 inches of rain in like 3 hours or something crazy.
Dude, it was fucked. Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm good. My
I-
whole drive to work was underwater. I drove
jeez.
take 44 all the way to work, and 44 west was all underwater this morning.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking wild.
Record breaking, right?
Oh, it records all day. You know it.
Yep.
You know, I thought this meant a Sue Robinson decision was coming down the pipes. I thought maybe that's what that would wash out of all this, and it fucking did not. Here I
We
am,
shouldn't be so lucky.
empty-handed. And the courtyard of my place is flooded. So it's like, LOL.
Dude,
What a
people are gonna
joke.
be taking their cars to St. Louis just to get that insurance money, dude. They're gonna be like, yeah, I was out in that fucking rainstorm.
Bro, there are people had their cars like underwater, like straight up underwater today. Like I saw videos of like people's like, it was like their basements are completely flooded out and shit. Like I go to the sandwich place, Vivola Express. I will pimp them out because they are, dude, it's the best sandwich in St. Louis. I found his Instagram story today, and all his shit, like his whole basement was washed out. I'm just like, damn, like his whole car was underwater.
Dude, that's
But
awful.
not us. It was just my power didn't even go out. So
Dude, Roto-Rooter is gonna come into St. Louis and just make a fucking cleanup, baby.
hopefully it's
Yeah.
Roto-Rooter that doubles as the Ghost Hunters. Remember that? I don't know if you guys remember that, but that show,
Dude, that's
like,
sick.
Ghost Hunters.
No.
But like during the day, they were fucking plumbers. Like it was the shit. I used to watch it after wrestling back in the day, Ghost Hunters, and yeah, so they would like work Roto-Rooters during the day, and then they hunted the paranormal at night.
Dude.
Like, dude, no days off. Like that's literally like, and you gotta think when you're hunting paranormal, that's an all night thing. That shit don't even pop off till like 2:30 a.m. I think that's like the dead time or whatever they always called it.
Dude,
They're
imagine
like, the active time of the night.
Imagine I just like imagine a guy coming up to me and being like, my house was destroyed in the flood, and they're like, yeah, I don't know who to call, and they're like, well, I also didn't mention it's haunted, and they're like,
Yeah.
I have just the guy you need to talk
The whole
to.
city's blaming me because like they're like something in this house pissed off the city. Like something went wrong here.
I feel like that just started because like a guy was like, we need a way to differentiate ourselves, and he was just like, this will be funny. I'll just say we do paranormal investigation as well. And then some dude, like eccentric guy, was like, I will pay you $500 for the complete service with
He's
the
like, dude,
investigation.
if you fix my upstairs and downstairs toilets and then tell me why I hear shit in the middle of the night, like, dude, you sold. Consider
you'll earn my business for life.
I will tell my friends and family about you. But yeah, no. So St. Louis is basically underwater. So, but it's all good. How are we doing? And is it still super hot where you guys are at? Because it's like in the seven. I mean, we're flooded, but like you know, you got to give
nice
and take
weather,
because
yeah.
now it's 70s. You know, now it feels
This is
good.
the first time it's been sub 95 in like 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
I'm
same.
pretty happy about it.
Same.
Dude, it's
not too
brutal.
bad down here.
Dude,
Just this
no,
week.
Anderson's not super hot.
Nope. We're making it.
That's good.
Guys, the only thing that's hot, you can feel it building. It's in Nashville. It's just like some excitement. It's brewing. The energy starting to shift. You can
It
feel in the
definitely isn't for Titan
seismology
football.
because what is happening on Sunday, we are finally here. But next time you hear my voice on the next podcast, I will have watched Ric Flair's last match.
Oh yeah, good stuff. I thought you were talking about Titans. I was gonna say
Dude, I could have sworn.
Not even
that's where we were
fucking
going.
close. No, the Titan.
Yeah.
I mean, no, not yet. We'll
Yeah,
get into that later.
We're not even.
But Ric Flair's last match, we got it coming up on Sunday. Talk to the gang. We're all excited. It's gonna be.
Nice.
I don't know what I'm gonna wear yet. I was either thinking of getting the gang like I'm gonna wear maybe a W shirt and they wear O, or maybe I just find some kind of Ric Flair shirt online that I'd probably wear another.
Dude, you
time
should have
as
went to
well.
some Goodwill and just found like some kind of sequence jacket. Like you should have just went
like a robe. I was thinking like a robe, but
robe.
they're so majestic. I wonder if I like just wore like a bathrobe, if people would get what I was going for.
I definitely think
Absolutely.
you got to go all out. Like if this is the last one,
He may die in event. Like
Yeah, I mean, that'd
there's
be
it's
awful.
not, the chances aren't zero that you
Yeah.
see Ric Flair die in person.
He almost died like not wrestling like 4 years ago.
Dude, he fucking literally was in a coma.
There
and
was
then
like
woke-
people. It was like
Wait.
on Twitter. It was like trending. It's like Ric Flair's dead, and everybody
No,
was like
straight up. Like they were
yeah,
like, no way
he
comes
was
out of
dead
this.
for like an hour on Twitter for sure.
And then he woke up and cut a promo on his nurse, which is just like the most, and that's a true story. Like that, he woke up and straight out of a coma cut a promo on his nurse. Like,
Damn.
that's why he's the GOAT.
That's
I mean,
not
that
the
is
only
why
thing he did
he's
to
the
that.
GOAT.
That's not the only thing he did to that nurse.
Straight up,
And that's why he's the GOAT.
impregnated her with triplets. I mean, incredible. He's like 70. He's
Wait, are
like
you
almost
serious?
pushing 80. No.
Hey,
I
look, I don't
dude,
know.
Hey, dude, I mean, that's how much of a legend he is that you,
Yeah,
at
you don't
80 years
know.
old, you didn't know if he
Yeah.
woke up and pumped triplets into that nurse
All-
or not. That's
Like
all
you doubt
Chuck-
it, but you don't know.
you don't know.
All Chuck Norris jokes equal Ric Flair. Like they're interchangeable.
Yeah,
essentially.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So whenever you think of a Chuck Norris joke, Ric Flair has done it
Like for
Okay.
real.
for real.
Yeah. Like on national
But
television.
no, we got the
televised.
show. We got that show coming up on Sunday. I'm excited. Like you said, if he dies, he dies. You know, kind of Rocky style. But
That'd be sick.
but it's gonna be a good match. We got him, his fucking son-in-law going against Jeff Jarrett, and another tag partner, and it's gonna be there. I also looked at it. It's pretty cool what they're doing actually. There's gonna be like a wrestler at least from every big major card that there is wrestling on this card. So there's like a New Japan wrestling guy. There's a Ring of Honor guy or whatever. There's WWE guys and AEW guys all wrestling under this. And I don't know why you fucking wouldn't. And I'm wondering if I'm gonna see some fucking, because it's the day after SummerSlam in Nashville. I'm wondering if I'm gonna maybe get to see John Cena, but maybe
That would be
you
good.
know,
That'd be interesting. Who knows? But well, other than that, the other exciting thing that we finally have, that we have finally arrived at, that we've been waiting for forever, because we have been in this just god awful stretch of MLB baseball it's just the drought of sports, the great drought of sports of fucking the end of June, early July, into August, just awful. But NFL football, we've made it.
woo!
We're back. We are
Month and a half away.
training camp opened for everyone today. All 32 NFL teams. It's the feeling is in the air. As Browns fans, Andrew and I we're excited, but we are still on edge because we don't know what's going to happen with our quarterback, which we'll get into here in a little bit.
We know.
But,
Sue
we know,
is going to do right by us.
Yeah, and
He's
I did
take
right before we
care
got
of
on air.
Browns
I did
Nation.
tweet you that video of I don't know if you got it or not yet, but it was
I haven't seen
them
it, I don't
shooting
think
the
so.
intro. Deshaun shooting the intro for like the video they show pregame this year. So obviously he's obviously not gone a year if they're shooting intro videos. But we'll get into that. But we're gonna start something where for the next couple weeks we're gonna start breaking down divisions in football. And we're gonna kind of break them down one by one, go through the teams, kind of go where they were at last year, kind of go get into what they're looking like for the upcoming year, and just kind of preview what we can, because we're so excited that football's back and we're finally able to. It feels like sports are back.
We're only 2 weeks away from the Hall of Fame game right now.
Yeah.
And,
So,
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Oh,
And I'm almost never excited for the Hall of Fame game, and I feel I am stoked for the Hall of Fame. I don't even know who's in the Hall of Fame game this year.
There's only two good drives in the Hall of Fame game. Each team takes one good drive, and you better hope to God they don't go 3 and out, because otherwise that game's fucking absolutely brutal.
Do you know who it is this year?
No, Andrew, can we get a little look up on that?
None of us
because
even know.
No,
we're excited for a football game. We don't even know who's.
it doesn't matter who's playing. Let's
It
be
does.
honest.
That is how
does.
excited we are.
I mean,
Yep.
it kind of makes sense because we're fucking excited about fucking XFL football and with
Dude,
the St. Louis
football's
Battlehawks coming
back.
back. So football is back in St. Louis, babies. Well,
Caw,
we'll see. I think
caw.
who I don't know. Don't they always play the game in Canton, Ohio? So the Hall of Fame game.
Oh,
So
it's not a good one.
who is it?
Jags Raiders.
Well, hey, at least we get to see Tay Adams for one
Yeah,
drive.
well, you know, that could be nice. It could be
That
nice.
could be nice. We'll see what we're working with.
Dude, he
Catching
houses
passes
a
from his
fucking
best buddy.
80-yard fucking dime.
Dude, and
Yeah.
just turns around and says Hall of Fame Derek Carr. Hall of Fame Derek Carr. Like,
Dude.
which is awful. The fact that he had to come I don't know if you guys saw that.
Going
like,
back to back Hall of Fame quarterback.
It was already bad enough to do that, but then have to come out and clarify. He's like, well, that's not what I meant. You know, I wasn't calling Derek Carr a Hall of Fame. It's like, okay, it's like you might as well just shut up.
All right,
It's
Devontae,
like
calm down.
you've already dug the hole. You're already it's a deep one. And now we're on record trying to explain why Derek Carr isn't already a Hall of Famer.
Not gonna work.
Derek Carr truthers.
But yeah, it's I mean, that'll be all right. We'll see where the Jags are. That Etene, Travis Etene will be. I've heard he is looking really good in camp. And like in a rookie.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Etene.
Yeah,
really? Because up until you just said that, I've always in my mind read it as ATN, like an ATM
well, I thought it was
machine.
ETN. I used to say ETN, but I think it's Etene, right?
Yeah, Etene.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
really dumb.
Dude, that's a tough one. I mean, that's a tough one.
There's a lot of vowels in there.
And 4 seconds into us trying to learn his name, he was out all he tears an ACL or whatever happened to him, and he's out all year. So it's like, you know, he kind of just faded into the like. Everybody's like, oh, James Robinson just got replaced after he had the most ridiculous, like undrafted running back season ever.
I need to hear the name pass through Ian Eagle's juicy lips before I can really understand how to pronounce it. I fucking love Ian Eagle. That dude's the best NFL announcer. Like, he could fucking announce my fucking divorce proceeding and I'd be fucking hyped. I'd be like,
well, good. I mean, so at least we've got it's an interesting matchup. It could be worse. But today, as far as previews, we're going to start with the AFC South. And we're going to do that because basically it's kind of a homer decision. It's also maybe the one of the weaker decisions in the divisions in the NFL for sure.
And also, if you haven't noticed, Stuart's not here today, so we wanted to kind of put one of these fucking,
gotta get in the good talk.
Yeah, we can't give the good shit away first. You got to kind of sift through this shit.
Damn right.
Yeah, so it's
where do we want to start though? That's the question.
Well, I mean, obviously we got to start Tennessee. I mean, we got to start the Titans because we got a Titans fan among us.
Yes, sir.
I think that we need to. So, and obviously for this one, I think we just turn it over to the man. I mean, well, obviously we will have our input, but let's, take it away, Jack. I mean, this is your squad.
So, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about this Titans team and where people think they're going to end up. If you look at the odds makers, all the bets are saying that this is the Colts division this year and that the Titans are probably going to be looking at second place. Here's why I don't think that's going to happen. A lot of people don't know this, but I mean, the Titans played like so many games hurt last year. They actually broke the record in the NFL for most players started in a single season. So it wasn't just on offense. It wasn't just on defense. It was also on special teams as well. And it wasn't just Derrick Henry. So which is what's crazy about that stat is the fact that the Titans were the number 1 seed in the entire conference last year.
I mean, 12-5.
I think a lot of people forget about that. And now, I think what they're projected right now is to go 8-9, which it's respectable. It's obviously with this new added game, it's probably not enough to get you into the playoffs. 8 games was really never enough to get you in, but so probably now definitely not. But what I think people are kind of overestimating is the fact that, okay, AJ Brown, amazing wide receiver. No one's taking that away from him. But do you think AJ Brown is 4 wins? Because he was already out a considerable amount of games last year,
and the Titans early in the year.
Yeah, and the Titans managed to do well. The Titans have upgraded at tight end. They have Austin Hooper now. They're not throwing passes to Anthony Ferkser anymore as a tight end. They have an actual guy who is a pass catching wide receiver, pretty darn good blocker as well. And in terms of the wide receiver room, obviously a lot of people were talking about Treylon Burks and the fact that when they did rookie camp, he apparently had stepped on the field, said that he couldn't breathe well due to his asthma, and literally left within 15 minutes. Didn't even break a sweat, and didn't show up for the rest of rookie camp. Now, a lot of people in the Titans organization, that's their first. That was their. Now, if you don't know about Treylon Burks, Treylon Burks was the pick that was traded to Philadelphia for the trade with AJ Brown. So
they basically call him AJ Brown like 2.0. I mean,
when they did the draft, you're exactly right. They do the NFL comparison, and the already preloaded graphic for Treylon Burks was like his NFL likeness was AJ Brown, and it was pretty funny. But
I can't stand that when they do that.
So yeah, I mean, I think they do it by like body type, running speed, and at least
no doubt. Yeah. There's some they make they try to get the closest physical representation of that player, but how often does it actually pan out? Like they're
it's like being a weatherman. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's literally just like throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. But you're never actually like held at fault for it, because like they're gonna be like, well, who can guess that? Like kind of like we are right now. It's like, well, obviously he didn't get that right, because who can just guess that he's AJ Brown 2.0? You know, it's like you're obviously just taking a guess.
They should do player comparisons for like everyday normal people, like my fat ass. They like just look at me and they're like, alcoholic 35-year-old mailman, and that's like that's my physical comparison. I'm like, motherfucker,
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I'm like, God damn it. But going back to what I was saying though, Treylon Burks is supposed to be the replacement for AJ Brown. I've heard now, even more recent news is that he's gotten the weight back down because he came to camp fat apparently, and that he's impressing the Titans. So, which is good because he's really getting. I mean, I know that they've added Robert Woods, but Robert Woods didn't play more than
coming off
an
ACL?
3 games
ACL,
last year,
and an ACL. Wait, so just so we're clear, Treylon can breathe, right?
He has exercise-induced asthma.
Okay,
which is a thing that fat kids say in middle school.
100%.
It's what fat kids say in middle school.
I may or may not have used that excuse in the past.
He literally fails step 1. They're like, Treylon, step 1, can you breathe? And he's like, no. They're like, oops. Okay. They're like, well, no reason for the rest of these questions. So you could stop filling out the form, go sit down. We'll find something for you to do. Yeah. You know, saying like,
somebody get this guy a clipboard.
Somebody get this guy a water
or iPad. Now we use iPads. We don't use clipboards.
An iPad and a water. Like, and somebody get the cap off the
maybe
water.
Maybe an inhaler.
Like, somebody make sure that the cap is already off the water.
Some albuterol, please. Albuterol stat.
Albuterol.
Oh jeez.
But he is a stud though. I mean, the kid looks really good. Like, I mean, obviously the guy has got
the tape is nice.
Stud. I mean, you don't just trade AJ Brown, but
one of those guys that's like maybe a sleeper that people aren't gonna know about until he gets out in the field is that tight end 3, and I'm not even gonna pretend to know how to pronounce his name. It's Chigoziem
Okonkwo. Akanwo.
Chiggy is what I'm calling him.
And, he has to have a nickname, right? They probably do call him Chiggy.
They gotta call him Chiggy, yeah.
So Chiggy is he's got a really high Madden score for running for tight ends, because this dude no shit can fucking like run like a 4.5 or 4.4, and he's fucking huge.
So why does he play tight end? He can't catch or what?
I don't think he was. I have to look more into this, but somebody was saying I don't think he's like a natural football player at all. Like that was just like he's too good of an athlete.
That's actually pretty normal now. Like
that's how Tony Gonzalez was. Tony Gonzalez played fucking basketball in NCAA.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, and I just feel like
Kyler.
You're getting a lot.
Or Antonio Gate.
Well, you got that kid from the Eagles that just ran in the the men's 200 meter or whatever but they've got a lot of these guys are athletes, and now you're getting like rugby players that are coming into the league and stuff like that. So I mean,
DK Metcalf wanted to fucking run Olympic track.
God, could you imagine? Just
he chased down fucking Buda Baker, and his head got so fucking big, dude.
Yeah, dude. Well, he was like telling Cheetah. I think he was telling Tyreek Hill he could beat him in races and shit. And it's like, all right, DK.
Yeah.
Like
he's like,
chill.
I could chase down Usain Bolt if Usain Bolt smacked my girl's ass, I would chase him down.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Him chasing down Buda Baker still was terrifying. I mean, like he literally went from like short strides to like fucking and like just fucking. I mean, he was taking like Olympic strides to catch Buda Baker. That shit was terrifying. Like, imagine
he caught him.
You probably heard him, like the vibrations in the field. Like you felt DK Metcalf.
You heard the air moving around his
miles an hour. Yeah,
because he's a big dude.
That's a big.
He's a big dude, and he's fast.
So getting back to the Titans, there's a lot of targets that are gonna have to be eaten up. Traylon Burks, Robert Woods, and Austin Hooper are gonna have to really step it up. I like Nick was saying before we got started, Dontrell Hilliard, he can catch passes out of the backfield. I think that's going to definitely be a strategy for the Titans more moving forward. They used to be that great play action team because they could fake the run with Henry. And then by the time, the play wasn't a run, AJ Brown was open. So can they find a receiver who can do that kind of the same thing, those routes? Who knows? We'll see. And also, is Ryan Tannehill going to regress again? He had a regression last year. Wasn't nearly as good as he was 2 years ago. Is it age? Was it confidence? What happened? But that AFC championship game or AFC divisional championship game against the Bengals still has to kind of be sitting in the back of his head. 3 interceptions, all fucking awful plays. He really cost his team the win. They only lost by 3 points. Anyways, can you click is there a way you can click the defensive side of the ball? Oh yeah, at the top right. Yeah. Because that's the only other thing I was going to mention with Titans. Obviously you got fucking Jeffrey Simmons, who's, if you don't like keep up with like defensive players, he's the new Aaron Donald. Like, in my opinion, he is so fucking dominant on the line. It's unbelievable. Harold Landry,
the new Aaron Donald.
Look,
I like Jeffrey Simmons, but
Jeffrey Simmons now is better than Aaron Donald right now. I'm just saying. That's my opinion.
You talking about Aaron Donald that just sealed the Super Bowl, but being triple teamed?
Yep, I think Jeffrey Simmons. I think I love Jeffrey Simmons.
Bro, hot take of the year right here. Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons is better than Aaron Donald currently.
He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year next. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year next year. If the Watt brother doesn't fucking win it.
Micah Parsons.
Zach Cunningham is a fucking tackle machine. Came from the Texans.
Machine. Harold Landry's a savage.
He came from the Texans. Yeah, they got a really fucking good team. Kevin Byard's the number one, I think, DB in the league. I mean, he was an All-Pro last year. He's fucking really fucking good. But yeah, that's the Titans in a nutshell. Kind of thinking that, if they were 12-5 last year, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe an 11-6 season or 10-7 or 10-7. I still think they take this division.
So can we pull up? Can we by chance? Can we pull up the 20? Can we pull up their schedule for the year?
Yeah, we can do the schedule.
Yeah, we don't have to obviously. Let's not go through the entire thing, but let's.
So the game they should win that I think they're going to lose is they play the Giants on 9/11. New York. I just don't like. I don't like the.
Yeah, I'd probably come to play that game.
Yeah, dude, the city's showing out on that one.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good one for the Titans.
They might sign Eli for a one-dayer on that.
I don't know. You might start out 0-2, maybe 0-3, and you're telling me that you're going to go 11-5. Is that what 11-6?
11-6, yeah. Because I think that we win both games versus. I think we don't lose a game in the division this year. Because I don't see us losing to the Jags.
Ooh, baby.
I don't see us losing to the. I sure as fuck don't think we're losing to the Texans this year. And then the Colts, I mean, I think they're
Colts
improved.
Are still so good.
They're improved. We'll get into that, but I don't think they're the fucking. Okay, here's the thing about let's just get into the Colts. They'll be our next team we get into.
Oh, hold on. I gotta trash the Titans.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
well,
let it. Yeah,
let-
yeah.
Okay,
gotta
well,
trash
let
the
me finish my
Titans.
point. But let me finish
All
the
right.
point against the fucking Colts. Then the fucking Colts have been favored to win the league the last 7 years. They haven't won a fucking division championship since 2016 or 2015. That's 6 years. They haven't won the division. They're not like everybody always thinks that, oh, it's the Colts this year. It's the Colts this year. It's not the Colts this year. I can tell you that. Go ahead, shit on the Titans.
You want to take this first? You want me to go?
No, you go first.
Sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna go switch back to the offensive tab here, just because we need that. And I think there's some problems that you're kind of overlooking here, Jack. So one, you did mention Ryan Tannehill's regression, and that much is 100% clear. I think QB 13, like what he ranked last year fantasy wise, I think that's totally fine. I think that's accurate. I think that's about where he is in the league right now, given last year. He's played better in the past, but given his pedigree, I think that last 2 years is more of an outlier, and before last year, so 2019 and 2020, or more of what we're going to see from Ryan. The other big issue here that nobody mentions is Derrick Henry. He broke down last year. You keep putting a ton of work on that man's feet. And at some point, just like last year, the body's going to give. He's only getting older. It's going one direction. If he stays healthy all year, sure. I think 10 wins is definitely achievable.
When does he turn 20? So he's 28. When does he turn 29?
That's a good question.
He just turned 28, I think.
Jan 4. So January 4th. So yeah, he's
okay. So he's 28 and a half.
28 and a half.
But you already saw the sign of wear breaking him down last year. He came back in the playoffs. He didn't look great. You have to have concerns that you kind of brought him back too early. After viewing him in that game, he just wasn't not nearly as effective. I know he got the touchdown, but that's not really what you're looking for. Derrick Henry's run style is not conducive to the amount of times that he has to rush the ball. He is a wear you down, get the big plays late, and just pound you for quarter after quarter. And unfortunately, that takes rushing attempts. And I just think that maybe not this year, maybe next year, but he's reaching that limit of what he can actually achieve, I think. And we haven't even gotten to the wide receivers, which is probably the most pitiful bunch of the offense. You had one issue to address. If I'm the Titans, before this, the offseason just starts, I'm thinking I have to get weapons for Ryan Tannehill. The play action, like you said, it wasn't working. You got away from it because it wasn't working, especially when Derrick Henry went down. Yeah, it's easy to run the play action when you got 9 guys in the box, 8-9 guys in the box. But if Derrick's not there, which he wasn't for a good amount of time, that becomes an issue. You traded AJ Brown, who was your best wide receiver, and you replaced him with a kid with asthma. Robert Woods just tore his ACL. Robert Woods just tore his ACL last year. Go look up wide receivers after their ACL tears. It's not very good.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Notable exception.
Yeah,
there are exceptions to the rule, but the vast majority of people that tear their ACLs.
Had that ready to go.
I hope they're on the same cycle.
Andrew's like halfway through. Andrew going, yeah, bro. Nobody ever comes. He's like Cooper motherfucking Kupp, boy. Like he had that ready to go.
And we're talking up Austin Hooper like he's done something the last 2 years.
Brick hands.
As a Browns fan,
an upgrade though. He is definitely an upgrade from what they had. And I don't even know who the fuck
they had. Anthony Ferkser.
Okay. Yeah, it is an upgrade, but
definitely an upgrade.
You went from 28th ranked wide receiver or tight end in the league to 17, 16.
I mean, he can just catch the fucking ball. If he can keep the ball in his hands, the guy's route running. I think he's got very good route runner. I think Austin Hooper, like I said, clear upgrade. I mean, definitely if he can get
that's one area though.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I mean, I do think that like as far as he's going to be getting probably more catchable balls, you got to be thinking, we know who he's been catching balls from the last couple of years.
No doubt. Ryan Tannehill is an upgrade in comparison to quarterbacks.
Right. And I think Austin Hooper is going to be, he dropped a lot of very catchable balls last year, but, right off the hands. But I think that he'll have more opportunities to catch the ball like it'll hit them where it's fucking supposed to, because Baker Mayfield
I think if they hit 10-7, I think that would be a good year for the Titans this year. I think 9-8 is more realistic, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, but it's them or the Colts. I mean, it's definitely gonna be them or the Colts. I mean,
100%.
let's get into Indy.
Sorry,
so I
Jack.
mean, it definitely could be if it's not the Colts, it's gonna be the Titans. So I mean, the other two teams in this division are, I mean, the Texans and who is it, Jags.
This is truly the AFC South mouth this year. Total butthole.
But so with the Colts, another team that's has had some pretty drastic changes. I mean, not as far as like in as many places of the Titans, but when you change the quarterback, that's always a big move. And you're going from Carson Wentz, who's been very up and down the last 4 or 5 years, to Matt Ryan, who has, some people say he's fallen off. Some people, I also, it could have just been the offense he was in. I think a lot of people just think that the relationship and the time of him in Atlanta, he just needed to change. And this is the change. I mean, he is stacked. Matt Ryan comes into an offense with arguably the best running back in football right now, easily the best running back in football last year. And he's got a receiving core of, Michael Pittman, who is an up and coming savage. Paris Campbell, it kind of falls off after that, but Mo Alley Cox is nice.
I like Alex Pierce.
Alec Pierce is nice.
Rookie, right?
He's a rookie, so we'll see.
Third round?
I think Alec Pierce will probably take over Paris Campbell at some point. But yeah, Michael Pittman is a savage. I mean, the kid's a young stud. So he's coming at Matt Ryan's coming into some offensive weapons here, and they're, Jack is totally right. When they've come through, they don't win shit. They never they never live up to anything.
No doubt.
But I think what were you gonna say?
Did you peek that wide receiver 7?
Who is it? Go down.
It's Kiki Kuti.
Oh, Kiki Kuti. Oh, baby.
Yeah. Remember when he was
phenom?
like, he was the number one waiver wire ad
dude.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
For the Jags, right?
No, Texans.
Houston.
It was the
baby.
Yeah, it was the Texans.
Oh no, you're right. He was.
Yeah, it was after that whole wide receiver group had fallen apart to injuries.
Everybody's like, he's the guy that's
I will
about to
always remember him
rejuvenate.
just for that. I wonder I hope he makes the team just for some fantasy relevance again.
Me too.
Sorry, I get ADD
for sure.
when I see names.
Kiki.
It's like, I'm so fantasy driven all the time. It's like I see something like that, I'm like,
me too.
Yeah.
That's my boy. I mean, I Kiki.
He had like one game where he put up like 35 fucking points, and everybody was like, "This guy's the truth." I'm trading I'm trading everything for him.
Yeah, guy just can't stay on the field. But I think that with the Colts, I think they have a more mature guy at the helm, and I think with with Matt Ryan being there, I think that this could be the guy that keeps their composure, doesn't kind of fall off midway through the year. He's going to win games that Carson Wentz lost. And then the defense obviously is disgusting. I mean, we all know that they're nice on the line, both sides. But defensively, I mean, DeForest Buckner is a savage. We've now got
the name change.
They've already got the name change. So later on, I guess we could just talk about it now.
Yeah, you got
Darius. So we got our boy Darius, who is now the artist formerly known as Darius Leonard, now goes by his middle name Shaquille. So Shaq. So now we've got Shaq Leonard. Out of South Carolina State.
I can't lie. That sounds pretty.
You guys are wondering who that
badass.
is.
Shaq Leonard does sound, yeah. I mean, and he is a savage, dude. Look at him.
Yes, he is.
He's a scary guy.
And if you didn't know who Darius Leonard is, you don't watch football enough. This guy is, I mean,
probably the best linebacker in football.
But definitely the best inside linebacker in the entire. Yeah, but yeah, he's incredible. I
forgot they got Yannick and Goku too. I mean, so their line is nice.
One thing I was going to mention about their quarterback situation, which I think is good for the Colts and long term, is that Nick Foles is the backup this year. And I'm not saying that Matt Ryan and Nick Foles are like, the exact same guy, but I think if Matt Ryan goes down, it's like you're not changing the playbook. So I think if anybody in this division is set up to deal with adversity, especially losing their quarterback, I mean, the Titans would absolutely be fucked. The Jaguars would be absolutely fucked, and the Texans would be absolutely fucked. So if you're looking at a strength in their roster, I look at the quarterback position. I mean, Nick Foles, say what you want about him. He won a fucking Super Bowl.
Hey, BDN,
well, how much gas does he have in the tank? You know, he's only 33. Matt Ryan's 37. So, I mean, I think
whatever gas he doesn't have in the tank, he's got somewhere else. Don't you worry. He's got nuts of steel. So, and a big donk. So,
I got a question here. I really do.
I think he heard us talk about big dick Nick Foles and decided he needed to get on in here.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
We're literally talking about the girth of Nick Foles right now.
Well, that's the most important part.
We're talking about whatever energy he's lost at 33 years old, he will reach down and find in his big dick.
Yeah, he should have never been a Super Bowl champion, but he found that veiny, girthy championship material down in his cockles, and he made it happen. He can do it again.
And now it's enshrined in statue forever.
It's a bronze fucking Thor hammer. So
the second most important statue in Philadelphia, second only to Rocky.
Yeah, and it's a close second.
Very close. Joe Frazier has to take third.
So for everybody, obviously we are just now been joined by Stuart. We already told them earlier that you weren't here, obviously. So now we had mentioned your absence, but now we're here. We're a foursome once again.
Here we go.
It's been a minute.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
What position do the Titans undoubtedly have better than the Colts?
I mean, that's
offensive line as a whole.
Offensive line as a whole. Okay, I will give you that. I think you can make an argument for running back, definitely. I like Jonathan Taylor, but
defensive line.
With Jonathan Taylor, who was severely underrated on the new Madden.
Facts. True.
Yeah. Hey, but speaking of new Madden, just a quick fact. It has nothing to do with the AFC South, but Josh Dobbs has the highest truck rate of any quarterback in Madden, the new Madden game. Josh Dobbs.
Really?
So 2 days ago, he posted a video or a picture on Twitter of him like at camp, and it was like his legs looked shredded. He was like, never skip a leg day. And then 2 days later, like 3 days later, the rankings come out, and he's like 4 points ahead of anyone else as far as trucking. And he was like, I told you, never skip leg day. But anyway, back to Matt.
It's incredible.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs, baby. Let's go.
Of all quarterbacks.
I just look at these rosters, and there's not really a whole lot of positions that I think Tennessee undoubtedly beats what the Colts have put together.
Can we pull up schedule?
Yes.
Well, I think so. Here's where I think it comes down to what Jack was saying. Like, I agree. I think that the Colts are a better team than the Titans, but they every year, like Jack says, I said, I do think that Matt Ryan could change that this year. But I think that it comes down to schedule. It comes down to if they win these close games, and then as far as just do they actually perform to their full ability?
Absolutely. They haven't won a game in Jacksonville in 6 years.
Who hasn't? Indy hasn't.
Indy hasn't, dude. They fucking lost that game, that last game of the season. That game they lost to not go to the playoffs. They haven't beat the Jags in 6 years at home.
Dude, that's actually crazy.
Look, Matt, you got to fix that.
Hasn't Matt Ryan only played in 2 systems, though?
Yeah.
Is he good at making those kinds of adjustments, especially first-year adjustments?
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking London Jaguars, you can't beat them, motherfucker.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that's actually crazy. I did not know that. But so who knows?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shit like that, it could be a huge. I mean, now you're playing in a division with these dudes, so it's like, who knows? I mean, obviously, starting off against Houston and in Jacksonville, that is a very good start on paper. But if they go out and smash Houston and then lose to Jacksonville, and then you got to play Kansas City, then you got to play Tennessee in a division game, then you're playing Russ in Denver. and then
That's
so
an L.
it kind of
No,
starts getting
You
slippery
guys don't
there quick.
understand the wheels fall off week 2 when they lose in Jacksonville for the 7th year in a row, and
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if they
that doubt sinks back in their head, and
Yeah.
they just fucking shit the bed
Right.
for 4 weeks.
Well, that's
really
what I'm saying.
6
They go
games
out
in a
there and
row
they just kick the
6
shit
years.
out of Houston, and then they blow it in Jacksonville, and then now you're looking at 1-1, and you're looking at these next 3 games or 4 games on your schedule, going, "Fuck," like we're right back in the same position we were.
Yeah.
Who knows though? So okay, well, speaking of Jacksonville, let's move on to Jacksonville then. So we got the Jaggies, the Jaggy Poos, who have not done shit in a long time. But I did watch Trevor Lawrence yesterday say that, oh, we are ready. We're ready to get back to some winning around here. Is
Dude,
what he
you guys
says.
they hadn't won consistently since Gardner Minshew fucking took the reins.
Is Gardner
And
still?
That
leading?
wasn't even consistent.
And that wasn't even consistent. They only won. Everybody, I think, misremembers how Gardner Minshew only won. I think that team won like 4 games maybe that year.
You're
It's
talking
the allure of
about.
the mustache.
We're talking about Gardner didn't take a shit throughout the entire training camp because he is not number 2 Minshew. Like that Gardner Minshew, and he couldn't even win in the system. But
Let's
head
get
coach.
into this team because I got some.
Well,
I got some
okay.
insight on this.
So we're coming to the Jags. I saw today. Today was media day. I forget what player they asked today about it, but they were saying they basically asked, like, what's the difference between last year Urban Meyer, this year Doug Peterson? And they said the guy laughed. I forget. I wondered. I'll have to look up after this, but he laughed and was like, "It's a professional locker room again." He goes, "He is talking to us like adults, and we feel like we're in a professional setting again." And like that could do. It's one of those things where, like, even if you're not the greatest football team, when you've got a guy like Urban Meyer who just brings your whole morale down to like an all-time low, when you get somebody who comes in there and just like gives you that boost in the ass and that shot in the ass, like, you don't know what that could do for you. You got a lot of young guys, like we talked about earlier, Travis Etienne, who missed all last year, James Robinson, who's an undrafted stud, they're the same age. James Robinson's been in the league 2-3 years.
2 years, yeah.
2 years. And he's.
And Snoop Connor is a really great fucking running back.
Snoop
3
Connor,
too.
yeah, great running back 3. This is a team that I do think. I mean, and you go down here, they fucked up the whole wide receiver market, giving Christian Kirk $700 million and just ruining football. But all together, Kirk, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, gave me that bomb pussy ahead of Laviska Shenault or
Zay Jones.
That
Good
was
depth.
Jones.
Conway line, but Zay Jones. Laquan Treadwell. I mean, like Laquan Treadwell,
even Jamal Agnew.
Those last 2 guys are guys you can kind of spread out and do different things with. This is a team that if you can get them motivated, Evan Ingram, who has just been, a colossal letdown as far as like his career, but
I think
another guy with things to prove.
I think he could be the biggest benefactor of a change of system.
100%.
Because his rookie year, he was so fucking good, and he was a top 8 tight end, I think, and everybody thought he was going to be, the next good tight end, and it just didn't pan out because they had fucking Limp Dick over there throwing him the fucking ball, Daniel Jones. And then, I mean, Dan Arnold's a pretty serviceable tight end too. Guy came from Arizona Cardinals, played with them for the back half of last year. He's, new coach, new system, but like you guys were getting at, Doug Peterson, like the professionalism, all that, he is a really fucking good coach. Like,
great.
He's a player's coach.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's the kind of guy that they should have fucking tried to hire in the first place. And
in a perfect world, he should still be in Philly. He got the short end of the stick on it.
Yeah.
He can get the most out of guys. I'm glad he's got another opportunity.
But he's the one. I mean, he literally won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, who we just talked about. He is the reason.
Yes.
Him and Nick Foles willed themselves into that.
But the reason why this team is probably going to have double-digit losses this year is because they can't run the ball when they're down by 3 touchdowns.
Tom Coughlin's still running the show.
Yeah,
he's 107.
And their defense has a couple of good guys in it.
Yeah, let's take a look.
You want to pop that over there and see
a little Popsky?
Because Josh Allen, not that Josh Allen, he's a pretty good defensive lineman.
Yep.
But they are both at the top of their class. Like they are both Josh Allens are top tier. Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen 3 times last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 times.
And that's
he did.
I mean, that's the thing too. People we'll get into this probably in a couple weeks, but the AFC East, like the Buffalo Bills, like everybody's like they're gonna be 15-2 this year. They're gonna be 16-1 this year. I'm like, these guys lost 9-6 to the fucking Jaguars last year. Like anything can happen in the NFL, and if you don't think that like they're gonna have a couple stinker games, you're out of your mind. Like,
Right.
I forgot that they had Foye Oluokun.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
really.
They just picked
defense,
him up, right? He was not there last year.
The defense isn't awful. They definitely need some defensive back
DBs.
help, some safeties. Yeah.
Oluokun's an Ivy League guy. He went to Yale.
Yeah. How about that?
Yep.
I think that
A young linebacker core.
I really don't think that this team is as bad on paper as they were last year. I think Doug Peterson makes a huge difference. I think Trevor Lawrence can be a serviceable NFL quarterback. I don't know what I feel like grading them out is actually really difficult. Like if you had to guess what their record was going to be, I have a hard time thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah, just so shoot on over.
Pop over. I mean,
they got
one.
week one. That's a good start.
I agree.
That's a good if they want to play anybody, it's the Commanders.
But then you got
very good.
You're going to start out 1-3, probably maybe 2-2 if
they're not beating the Eagles, baby. Let's just.
Yeah, you hope not, right? I mean,
come on.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, Doug Peterson revenge game, fucking in Philly. Yeah, you know he's gonna want that bad though.
Dude, he's
gonna be playing. I'll say that.
Well, that's the thing, though.
AJ Brown's 152 tutties.
I don't think we can think of Trevor Lawrence like we did last year. I think
last year's a wash.
I think last year's a wash, and he had all the different coaches. I think this year, if he gets hot, I can see him make like, I want to see Trevor Lawrence throw 300 yards for more than one game. I want to see like three games in a row, 320, 350 yards, and
get the feet moving,
get 2 or 3 touchdowns a game.
I have no problem with Jacksonville being competitive. Like I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good for the league. It'd be cool. Like I said, they have got so much young guys that they just the head coach. I don't think the head coach change can be emphasized enough in this situation. Like some points, 100%. Sometimes I think it's always a big change. It's always a big move, whether it's for better or for worse. But this is clearly for the better because you can't get worse than what Urban Meyer was doing, and it's just one of those things where it's like you've got so many young moldable players that you throw a legend, a professional like Doug Peterson, who's got a Super Bowl. He took a franchise that no one ever thought might get their ring. They've always been on the doorstep, never could get it. Finally gets them through the doorstep, beats Brady in a Super Bowl. He's going to get their respect. He's going to walk in there day one. I think this is a team that really, if you get them in the right direction, they could make some noise. I think if you get them
with Doug Peterson, I mean, who is a quarterback, he was a very good backup quarterback in his long career. This is huge for Trevor Lawrence because he's not a guy who's had his first 2-3 years wasted on different head coaches and different strategies and different schemes. Second year guy coming in, he's got a guy like Doug Peterson to mold him while the clay's still fresh. So this is, if anyone's going to benefit, it's going to be Lawrence.
So before all of his confidence is completely fucking out of his body,
before he's shot.
Urban Meyer was like, dude, you should have been a fucking tight end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have never played quarterback. Trevor's like, what do you mean?
Urban, you should have kept your fingers out of the tight ends, big boy.
Yeah, or in one tight end, and that was your wife's, and it wasn't. It was college girls at a bar underneath pictures of your wife. Just what a fucking weirdo.
First year head coach in a fairly tough division with depth problems on the defensive side of things. 500 record, but with a high upside.
Absolutely.
I see them as a 6-11 team next year.
Really that low, huh?
I mean, what did they win last year? 2 games? That'd be a great improvement for them.
I don't think with that count that 500 is not. It's not unreasonable.
It's definitely achievable. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think that's the high end of their season.
Right. I think if you were, the ceiling I think is 500. I think, I do think 6-11 is reasonable as well too. I think we can all 4 of us can agree that 2 is probably not going to happen. I think we're going to get more than 2. I think Jackson's
sure.
going to win more than 2 this year.
Just a quick little tidbit.
Yeah.
The last time I can remember a coaching change that was this drastic was for the Cleveland Browns. Signing Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, I was like, which time?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, well, I was going to say, wow.
Touche.
Yeah, you can't just throw that out there, bud. Like, that's
What,
like saying,
Romeo
like,
Cornell?
oh yeah, that's like saying, like, yeah, that time when Cleveland got a new quarterback, and everybody's like, wait, which 25 fucking times are you talking about?
Freddie Kitchens was going to take us to the Super Bowl.
But
Freddie Kitchens is a fucking mental
Freddie
patient.
Kitchens, but nobody is worse than Hugh Jackson. So.
Or Jeff Fisher. I don't know. Jeff Fisher is always like bottom tier for me.
Hugh Jackson.
Don't you ever talk shit about Jeff Fisher on this? I've said this.
Don't talk shit about Mr. 8-8 Jeff Fisher.
Throw hands over Jeff Fisher, dude.
We will not
he's
go
not
8-8.
a good head coach.
Okay.
We're not going 8-8.
We're not going 8-8.
Go look at the top 5 wins all time and tell me Jeff Fisher's
don't
not
care.
a fucking good coach.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
well,
ignorant slut.
Hey, look, you're talking to a diehard Tennessean now. Okay, like
I should have known.
He is God down there. Okay, that 1 year. I mean, he was 1 yard from a statue, like a half a yard from a statue.
Dude.
So,
can you imagine if there was a Jeff Fisher, who was the quarter, Steve McNair statue, doing like the you want Philly kind of deal?
dude, rest in peace. Steve McNair's the one that got his girlfriend killed him.
Steve
Right?
McNair got
his mistress. Yeah,
Steve McNair, dude. God, what a savage.
I tell you what, dude, that town loved him though. I remember right after he died, I drove through Nashville, and there was right there on the interstate on the freeway, big old billboard. And this was so many years after he had played there, but that town really did love him.
Yeah, he was a great player. So when it comes to teams that could win 2 games this year, I do think Houston is the Houston Texans are a team that we have no idea what's going to happen with Houston. They could win 2 games. I don't think that. I mean, 5. I don't think 500 is even a ceiling for these guys this year. Mills, year 2, Davis Mills, who we all agreed when we went over the quarterback list, he made noise. He had bright spots. You don't know. We don't know what he's going to get. He could definitely be better than a lot of people are thinking. They got Dameon Pierce.
If he gets injured this season, the Texans may not win a game this year.
If Davis Mills goes down,
Kyle Allen and Jeff Driscoll are your fucking backup.
Yeah, they are definitely going out. I mean, they might as well just go get Colin Kaepernick. Get the people back on their side.
They may be the first 0-17 team if Davis Mills fucking goes down in this season.
Why not Jimmy G?
Rough, dude.
Yeah, maybe Jimmy G ends up there.
I mean, I'm sure he would. Yeah, they could.
Is there a favorite for Jimmy G right now? Like the Giants?
I don't know. Well, today, they came out and said they're rolling. Trey Lance is the quarterback. They're rolling with the team. So
they had a sit-down meeting with Jimmy.
He literally said Jimmy G would have been traded if not for the injury, is what Shanahan said today.
Okay, Kyle.
So Trey Lance is taking first team reps?
He said, he goes, Trey, this is Trey Lance's team. We made that decision last year, were his exact words.
Yep.
Damn.
So
iffy.
Yeah. So and then he said if it weren't for Jimmy G's injury, he would have been moved already.
God, dude, I almost feel for Jimmy G.
Yeah, so they basically they ripped the Band-Aid off today.
He's gonna cry. He's gonna cry into the arms of a fucking woman that I would pay $100 just to smell fucking her hand.
I'd let her sweat on me. I would let her. He's like, oh god. He's like just dapping her up with her blonde hair. His life in his tears. But this is a team that they're pretty terrible all around, honestly. Like they're not good. Dameon Pierce, I do think I think he is somebody that you can maybe watch this year. I think he was the number 1 rusher in the SEC last season. I think he probably steps into the best situation. I think he they're Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead and Dari Ogunbowale and Royce Freeman are his competition. I think Dameon Pierce, with this team is in the rebuild stage, I think this is where Dameon Pierce probably walks in there, immediately takes first team reps, probably is going to get the most opportunities. But then you got Brandon Cooks, who, I feel like people continue every year to kind of put him down, but he is
sleep on him.
You can't get more consistent than Brandon Cooks.
You know what he's going to do this year? Quietly turn out a top 12 wide receiver.
Yeah, he will put 1,000 yards up most likely.
Again,
he will again.
And you know where he'll get.
All right.
And you know,
yeah.
And you know where he'll get drafted in single season leagues, like round 8, 7.
Yeah, people will totally forget about him.
The disrespect.
And even more so now because John Mechie was supposed to be.
We got to pour one out for him.
A decent, he's at least been a nice piece for this offense. John Mechie coming out of Bama. I really enjoyed watching him at Bama. Great receiver, thin guy, a lot of speed. Diagnosed with leukemia this week, so he is basically out for the rest of the year.
Hopefully he James Connors that leukemia and fucking makes it his bitch.
Thankfully,
back.
It's the most curable form of leukemia, from what I understand. So
I think it's the same type he had. James Conner had.
So let's hope that he gets that taken care of and he comes back year 2 strong. But when it comes to football standards, you got to think that just puts probably more targets towards Brandon Cooks. I mean, you got Chris Conley and Phillip Dorsett, but who cares?
Nico Collins is a really good second year player too. He had flashes last year of being a good player. I think kind of just the limit of the quarterback and the team around him kind of limited his upside. But Nico Collins is somebody I definitely look at to make a stride and kind of build on. And it could be a very serviceable long-term wide receiver for the Texans, I think. So
agreed. Yeah,
but their defense is also why they're probably not going to win a lot of games either. Not a lot of.
They lose the tackle machine to the Titans.
Yeah, Cunningham's gone, and they've also, they've traded away a lot of their defense, obviously.
Yeah, losing Cunningham to the division's got to hurt a little bit.
And then they don't have J.J. Watt, obviously. That's been a long time, and,
we still got Christian Kirksey. That's probably the only...
Yeah, he's middle of the road.
To me. No doubt, but...
Always a Kirksey guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
Dog pound,
baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Dog check.
But
Petra is decent, but this team's going to get a lot of people throwing on them, a lot of people being able to tear up that defense.
Davis Mills is going to have a lot of opportunities.
Let's find some wins.
Davis Mills is going to be playing in a lot of game plans.
Week 3,
negative.
They're going to beat the Bears in Soldier Field.
Okay, I think I can agree with that.
So they have 1 win going into bye. They're 1-5. They're 1
It's an early bye, okay.
Or no, 1-4, right? 1, 2,
yeah, 1-4.
Yeah, 1-4 going into the bye.
Who they got week 17? Oh, the Colts.
Jackson.
That would be perfect if the Colts had their fucking season on the line. They got to win to get into the playoffs 2 years in a row,
and they flatline Matt Ryan.
Davis Mills put up 440 and fucking 8 touchdowns.
I'm still hung up. 6 years they have not beat. Is that real?
So wait, Who is that? Is it Matt Ryan hasn't or
the Indianapolis Colts have not beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. The Jags at home. In 6 years, yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? That's so bad. Terrible.
Dude,
I guess a couple of those years. Yeah, a couple of those years they would have had a good defense, right?
So let me guess who your 4. So the 4 wins that Stewart is looking at here are obviously week. I think we said go back up a little bit. So we're gonna beat the Bears.
I bet he said he took one from Jacksonville.
We're gonna maybe beat the Commanders. I think we put the Commanders on there, and then one of the Jacksonville.
Guys, I take that back. I was completely wrong about that stat. The Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014, even longer.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! You said it's completely wrong. And I was like, okay, that sounds better. But then you went longer, and I was like,
no, they haven't won there since 2014. I apologize. Not 26.
That's
8 years.
That's a rough squad. This is gonna be a rough year for Houston. I definitely think so.
That one of those wins is gonna be against Dallas because they're playing Dallas at home.
I like that. I think they could beat Dallas. Dallas sucks. Dallas
sucks at home.
Dallas sucks at home. The only thing they had my boy Micah Parsons on defense, who is going to be Defensive Player of the Year, not Jeffrey Simmons. You missed that hot take earlier. Jack said while going, because you missed the Titans, you came in while we were in Colts. Jack says that his opinion is that Jeffrey Simmons right now is better than Aaron Donald currently.
That's exactly.
That is such a hot fucking take, though. It's so.
I like it. I respect the shit out of it.
It's so fucking ballsy that I'll respect it, but I won't agree on it. But
this guy just
fucking nightmare. He's
this
a
guy
game
just
record.
sacked.
Dude. Watch his all 24, bro.
He was triple.
Aaron Donald is the nightmare.
True.
Yeah, dude. No.
Still.
So, one of the things, this kind of moving into our next topic here, which kind of comes into we can start with Houston. One good thing that Houston has going for them this year, I like them. I don't know if a lot of people like them. A lot of teams are getting new helmets. I like Houston's red helmets that they just came out with.
Those are sweet. Yeah,
I think they're tight.
I'll be honest, this is the first time I've seen it.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
I
hope
think
it's not
so.
too small.
Oh,
no, those are good.
You're telling me this for the first time.
Yeah, it's a little USFL. But I can get on. I'm on it.
And I think the jerseys are even red. Like, I don't know if I'm a fan of the jersey. Like, I like the helmet.
It's a lot.
It's kind of like, okay, the Bears. I think I hope we all can agree the Bears fucked up big time. Like, I like the orange jersey. I really like the Bears orange jersey. I like the Bears jersey. I think they just have one of those classic.
I like the Bears original helmet.
Yeah,
it's iconic.
But all orange. Like, when you're going all one color like that, that's a little like the Texans. The helmet's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't.
Alternates should not be color rushes.
I'm with you. So who do we like? Who are some of our favorites? I mean, obviously I love
Bengals. Big W.
It's the win. Yeah, 100%, no doubt.
The Bengals helmet looks like the Bengals helmet if you just were wearing it and you died in Grand Theft Auto and it just like all just faded black and white.
Yeah,
like right before it says wasted over. Yeah. No, I didn't like the Saints at first. That's my team, but now they've grown on me since then.
I like it. I like the little dots.
I was hoping for an all white Saints helmet.
Dude, that would be tight. A white on white.
White Saints.
Yeah,
that would be pretty tight. I'd like that.
That's kind of what I was hoping for the white uniforms, because when they wear those white uniforms, those are sick, and I would love to see a white on white. That'd be kind of cool. But
honestly,
it's good contrast.
Yeah, but I told Nick, or I posted on our Twitter page. Yes, I post on Twitter now. The Falcons actually have a really fucking.
I love
cool
it.
helmet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I was gonna say if it's not the Bengals, I think I hate the Falcons, but that helmet's fucking sweet.
Andre Reed, Deion Sanders, dude. That
Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre, dude, for sure.
I was gonna say, I don't
throw touchdowns to himself.
There's really not one that I don't. Okay, like I don't like the Bears, but I don't really like. I don't really dislike much. I mean, the Cowboys one just looks like all the other throwback Cowboys ones.
It looks like the Thanksgiving helmet.
Yeah,
the Jets one is really weak. Jets is weak,
which I like.
Jets is kind of weak. But as far as the rest, I like the simpleness of the Commanders one. I don't like the Commanders uniforms really, but I like just the W. I think it looks good. The crisp black, I like that. I love the throwbacks. Patriots, the Atlanta one.
I don't like the Panthers one.
You don't like the Panthers one?
There's too much. The reason I like the white helmets is because too many teams go black. Yeah. They take that. They want that intimidating Raiders black hole shit. And so when they go the opposite, like the Bengals did, which was ballsy and it pays off, that's beautiful. That is my favorite.
It's so good. I really like the I like how the Cardinals with their black one, they like if you look at they have like the red sparkle, like when you get up.
Luckily, the Cardinals did a pretty good blackout jersey a few years ago. So if they do the helmet with it, why not? It worked for them.
What do you think about the Patriots? I mean,
I love it. I love the old school.
I love the old school logo. I wish they use it more often.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I agree.
But that helmet, I don't know, something about it screams fucking Mac Jones getting sacked 6 times. I know maybe it seems candy ass when he wears it, but it's just like when I see that hat, I'm like, dude, you're in for a long fucking day, bro.
It's like a Buccaneers quarterback wearing the creamsicle. You're like, it's gonna be a rough fucking day if your name's not fucking Doug Williams.
Hey, well, the fucking robot himself, Bill Belichick, big Billy, said that he liked he said there were just crazy strides in Mac Jones since year 1, year 2. He says we're about to see Mac Jones 2.0, baby. So we'll see.
He's saying what you gotta say.
This is the guy. This is the guy that they didn't let throw up one time in an NFL game.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope
on a cold winter night.
I hope to God he has gotten a little better than that. Where
He
like
lost some weight.
Give. Well, I think he bulked up. Like I think he like kind of lost some of the fat, and I think he kind of got like more muscular. Kind of. Like I think
he did the opposite Baker Mayfield.
You know what? He has not taken the field. I forgot about this. I think the last thing Mac Jones ever did was kill the gritty. He fucking at the Pro Bowl, he did the gritty for a touchdown, and everybody's like, "Yeah, this is lame now. Like this is over." Justin Jefferson's like, "I don't even think I'm going to do it anymore."
It's God. That's what we'll see. I mean, Mac Jones. I like Mackie, but Well, I guess we'll get to them when we cover the Patriots. But I can't because they lost a few, so I'd like to see where they're going to go.
I'd appreciate the Jets helmet more if it was white too.
Pepper, who do you think we should cover next week? Maybe give us a little teaser. I think we can choose anything now because we're gonna have the full cast and crew.
Here. Yeah,
I think we should jump to the NFC South. I think
that's what we just did.
NFC South?
No,
NFC. We just did the AFC.
No,
He's saying
so we want to do.
NFC.
Are we doing AFC NFC or do we want to go?
I know what you're thinking.
Well, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
Are we thinking soap opera?
I feel like we should definitely do an NFC division.
For sure.
Let's do NFC South then.
Yeah.
We're doing a 3-hour episode of just every professional game from Deshaun Watson. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna break it down snap by snap. Look at his reads.
We'll get the all 22 out.
Yeah,
all 6 games he played for the Rams.
We'll save the
PFF North right now.
We'll save the AFC
doing
North.
the fucking circles on the screen, trying not to make a dick every single time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'll have to, dude. Yeah. Well, let's wait and see. Let's give all 6 games Sue.
Come on, Sue.
A little bit more time to make a decision because this is ridiculous. But we'll wait. Let's do NFC South next week. Let's save some of the juicy ones like AFC North, NFC East. Let's save the.
You guys are knocking out my Titans and my Saints right off the bat. I dig it.
I can talk
all day.
Yeah, let's do it. I think that'd be good. But as far as like, if we were going to talk about Watson, I mean, I know on the old Docu-Poo today, we want to talk about Josh Rosen. So I guess we won't really. It's not really Watson news, but he's going to be the
Josh
camp arm.
Nosen. Look at that,
Josh Nosen. Jesus Christ, dude! Holy shit!
He always looks like he's about to cry.
He's looking at he's looking at all those mistakes that were made.
The worst part
was look at all 9 mistakes.
He looks like he's looking for that minivan to pull up after school to pick him up, and it just never does. Just fucking 1,000 yards.
Josh Rosen's a Laidlaw kid.
Josh, you said your mom knows to pick.
You're like, Josh, you can come inside and wait. He's like, no, my mom will be here any minute.
She'll be here, I promise.
She'll be here, I promise.
Josh ended 2 hours ago.
Dude, so Josh Rosen. So what were the chances? I would love to know what the chances were on draft night, whenever 2018, whenever this, I think it was 2018, the draft. What were the chances that this guy was going to end up just a Brown? I mean, like, because you got to think Baker comes here. There was always talks that Rose. Nobody knew what was going to happen in that draft, and then we get Baker. We obviously know what happened with all that. Now Baker's in Carolina. Now we get Josh Nosen, aka Josh Rosen, on our team now to be I guess just a camp arm. I mean, there's no fucking way he makes it. I mean, I guess assuming what happens with Deshaun. I mean, if Deshaun gets a 10-game, 12-game year, I guess Josh Rosen might be sticking around for a little bit. But
who's third on our depth chart right now? He was a Steeler.
So he is no. So crazy enough, I'm pretty sure Josh Rosen is 3 on the depth chart right now.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Who is the other guy?
Josh Dobbs.
Dude,
he's the guy with the truck rate.
Right, but from what I've heard, he has been very underwhelming.
Well,
that he might be the guy getting cut.
Yeah, he's coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, he's a Steeler.
Well, if you guys are big fans of Pop Culture Rehab, you'll remember one of our first videos we posted on our Instagram page was of the draft night selection with Josh Allen getting drafted to the Bills and the Bills fans being upset. The reason the reason the Bills fans were upset is because Josh Nosen was still on the board. and they chose Josh Allen instead. And just think how much different that Bills team would be right now if Josh Rosen had gotten drafted instead of Josh.
Dude,
Allen.
imagine. I think about it about twice a week. Imagine if the Browns didn't take Baker Mayfield and took Josh Allen and then
won us a playoff game in Pittsburgh.
I mean, look, yeah, I'm not going to be the guy that just shits on Baker religiously. I do.
He did kill. Yeah, he killed Ben Roethlisberger.
And let's all talk. Pepper and I talked about it yesterday. So I don't know if you guys, Stuart, you probably didn't because you're on vacation. But Baker posted a video yesterday that was like "Keep Pounding," and it was actually a video that the Panthers had posted or somewhere, but he put it on all his social media. So it's like a mixtape, a highlight video of like him. Plus the other so all 4 quarterbacks on the roster are in this video, and they're like getting like workout at looks like a local high school or something. You know, they're throwing and just kind of fucking around. Yeah. But it's like a highlight video. You know, there's music in the background. Everybody's high. Everybody looks really good in the video. Sam Darnold looks good. Fucking JP Walker, the kid Corral or whatever they just drafted. Everyone's making good catches. Baker Mayfield's in it a few times, but he makes one throw, and it is the most inaccurate throw. I hope he gets it. So I assume they kept it in the video because the receiver made like a top 10. It's like a web gem catch to have to, like, he had to like jump and like reach behind him. But it's like, why? It's almost like the Tua throw. Why did we put this out here? Because this is the guy that you're hoping wins the job, and you're watching all the other quarterbacks look good in this video, and then the new guy overthrows the receiver, and he has to make this miracle catch, and it's just like, Baker, like, this was the worst fucking thing you could have ever put out.
Yeah,
and it's just
poor
Baker.
Ugly.
Well, and then I also, the best part about the story is there's a Browns beat writer that snipped that throw, put it on Twitter, and put Browns receivers remember these throws. Odell Beckham liked it on Twitter.
Oh shit!
So just to make it even juicier, Odell was like, "Yeah, I remember those fucking throws. I remember." When I feel like
every time Baker Mayfield trends on Twitter, that clip goes re-viral of him like apologizing to Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, being like, "Be patient, guys. Be patient.
You'll get yours. You'll get yours."
Yeah, dude, it's like every time he's in this. I've seen that one NFL live clip like maybe like 600 times.
It's so bad, dude.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Like the whole world owes Odell like a collective "we're sorry" after that, because like everyone was more or less like, Odell's like past kind of really, you know, it was more like we all just kind of believed that it had to be Odell causing problems just because
he's a diva.
He's a diva. And then you walk out,
I'm guilty.
Like, Jesus Christ.
He's this dude can't even throw me the fucking ball. Like, what do you want me to do?
I can't be a diva because I'm not touching the ball. Like I literally just in the. Were you able to pull that up, Andrew? It should be in our DMs.
I thought it was. Yeah, I know. I can't.
In our DMs. I'm only
working on it.
Call away.
Oh,
well,
Stu,
while you're trying
I gotta call you out real quick. Our thumbnail video for the last fucking podcast, I made a super fucking ugly face. Nick made a super ugly fucking face, and you didn't use his. You just decided to use mine.
He goes, "What a drive-by shooting!"
Yeah, I go, "You fucking lit me up and fucking booked it, and said I'm not coming on the podcast for 2
I go,
weeks."
"He took a week off." I go, "He did you dirty," and then went on vacation.
No, I tried to do a take. I did make one with both of you guys, but it was weird because it was either Nick like working the shaft, or I did one where Nick was like pointing at the camera, like doing the double like finger guns, and I was like, no, the contrast would be like, oh, Nick looks cool, Jack looks like a fucking retard deluxe. I was like, no, we'll just let Jack get the shine.
That's fair.
That's fair. I did think about you. I did criticize my own work before posting. That's as good as it got.
Hey, and I do.
It was for the brand, I guess.
It's for the brand. All love.
Yeah. All right. So here's this Baker throw. Here's this Baker throw.
Watch the hips. Watch the catch.
Can we watch?
It's just like over his head.
Okay, wait. Over the head.
Why is he throwing off of his fuck?
Dude. There's so many things wrong with this video.
Why is he dressed like a fucking early 2000s tennis player? Like all
looks like Andre Agassi.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, point. I mean, terrible.
He's thrown off balance, and he's just practicing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Watch the hips open, dude. Like, what are you doing, son? You can tell that knee's like way outside. No wonder
Baker Mayfield's
he's sitting his own hips.
He's like 3 years away from just being in Dude Perfect videos for the rest of his life. Fucking doing trick shots with freaking Beardo.
Dude, getting lit when he gets one.
He's gonna be Baker and the fucking twins making fucking YouTube.
Wait, and does the receiver have to network to catch?
Yeah, watch me make this guy catch this ball at 90 degree angle.
Look at this jump.
I have to stop myself completely and jump straight up in the air and catch it over.
And it does not appear to be some kind of like sideline thing where you're throwing it up so only your boy can get it. It looks like he's in open field.
This wasn't like a style point. Like this wasn't. This is a slant route.
This is
stop. It's an out. It's an out.
Three shuffle feet to stop.
Is that the sideline?
Slow down.
Yeah, I think it's the sideline to the left.
Okay, cool. So I mean, if he's throwing on the outside of the hash or the tick marks, okay,
it's still a misplaced throw.
See, but that looks like the sideline down the field. I think that might be a little off the sideline, dude. I don't know.
You think?
Either way,
I think.
I mean, that kind of looks like it could be the.
It could be either way.
Like it's downfield. Either way, it's a shit throw.
It's bad.
If I could see where he places his feet, but you can't.
And this is because he's playing fucking Halo all the time. Which leads us to our last but not least, another fucking Oklahoma. So somebody tweeted the other day, these Oklahoma boys must love playing video games because we got Baker Mayfield who's playing fucking 10 hours of Halo the night before before the game, the Christmas Eve game where he throws 4 interceptions because it's blown out. Now we got Kyler Murray, who basically just gets put on. I mean, whoever leaked this contract, it was the biggest fuck up ever. Like,
it's not a leak, dude. It's there for all to see.
Like, but it's one of those things where it's like the fact that anybody like put this in writing and like let this be known is
it's bad
for the whole contract. Anytime he struggles, that is going to be the talking point. So Kyler Murray signs this huge contract, and I mean, in writing, it literally says he has to study. He has to study 4 hours. Can't have no distractions. Study 4 hours a week. Have no TVs on. He can't play video games. If you don't know, Kyler Murray is a part of the FaZe clan, so he also streams video games. Which my buddy Adele, had an interesting theory last night that he thinks that Kyler Murray actually plays this deal out and then retires from football and goes into a full career with streaming, which is huge money. And if he's, Kyler Murray, he's in the FaZe clan, and if you can, you make that football money big. And then take that reputation into the gaming world, it's a game changer, So, and he's, like you said, he's already under contract with FaZe, so that is kind of why a lot of people think obviously this is put in here because he spends a lot of time playing video games. But yeah, what a colossal fuck up, I think, on the side of the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, just even put this in there. Like it's
what else could they do?
But it's just undermined so bad.
It's embarrassing. $230 million, $230 million and a half dollars is what he's getting paid. And they had to put in the contract that he can't play video games while he's studying.
You have to study 4 hours. Like, you should be studying 4 hours.
You're in the NFL.
Like that's nothing. And like
his yearly contract is more than the entire Oakland Athletics roster, which was the team that he got.
And did you see? And they even like
draft.
Had the ball. I think they even had the audacity to they like shit on the Oakland A's, like when they, because after the first interview when they announced this contract signing, one of the reporters had asked Kyler Murray, like, so does this put to rest baseball? Like, because there's actually a clause in here too in this new contract that he can't play baseball for any league in the world. He can't play pickup games. He can't practice. He can't do anything. No baseball related activities during the football year, or it defaults the contract. And he didn't reply this, but I guess the GM or whoever for the Cardinals was like, well, did you see that tweet about the payrolls? He's like, yeah, this puts baseball to sleep, because he signed by he was drafted by the A's, and the A's, like Jack said, his average a year is more than the entire A's roster. So it's like, but it's just a sad thing where you're just like, it's embarrassing. I mean, it's
embarrassing for both sides, because like it says about Kyler Murray, it's like you can't even watch game tape. You're playing video games all the time. You don't care. You're not committed.
He hasn't been humbled yet.
It's also embarrassing for the Cardinals to give this guy a fucking
It's like, why even give this guy money then?
Like, it's like we have to sign this guy or else the fan base is going to revolt, and we have to give him a max deal, and we have to to protect ourselves. We have to beg this guy not to fucking play video games while he's watching game film.
Well, another good thing that was brought up after all this is, which is like a kind of been a clip that's been floating around, or like a quote floating around, is this last year. It all kind of makes sense. Like there's kind of been hints towards this in the past. Like last year, he had said something where he's like, I'm not one of those players that watches a bunch of film.
He says he can see things on the field that no one else can see.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I see so many things in my head that I don't need to watch film. Okay, well, I'm sure every fucking quarterback feels that way. Like, I'm sure every football player feels that way to an extent.
You felt that way in fucking college when you were an elite class of athlete in college. Now you are in the big leagues where you are just another fucking guy now.
Yep. Yeah.
So now you have to do those things that takes you to that next level. He still has that young, stupid NCAA mentality where he could just ball out like it's like street ball.
Yeah. Like I can just go
not anymore, dude.
Around. Exactly. And I think it's clear. And we have seen some pretty ugly fucking games from, I mean, Kyler Murray obviously has had some just incredible games. He's an incredible
they started
talent.
the season, 8-0 last year?
8-0, and then they just fell apart.
That's Cliff Kingsbury for you.
2 Pro Bowls didn't help. The ego.
It's a wild situation with that, but the man got paid. I'm happy for him. We'll have to see. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, when we get to that division, I have my own thoughts on this. I don't think this. I mean, luckily some teams in that division have taken a step back, maybe giving them some help. But
I think
the
don't worst
know
team.
if,
Oh God. Yeah, the worst team in that league is better than some of the best team. Like they would be fighting for a division championship in any other division. So we'll get into it.
So
yeah.
Well, other than that, I mean, I think this has been a good episode. That's the AFC South. Next week what are we gonna do? We're gonna do the NFC South next week. Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk
about Baker. We could talk about Baker too.
And Jameis in one episode. I mean, we are going to have it's gonna be good next week. I can't even contain myself. Baker Mayfield,
forget Tom Brady and his new tight end.
Yeah,
if you think I suck the dick of all the tight, if you think I sucked some tight dick, wait till you hear me talk about my Saints.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I guess we do have to mention that, Julio signing with the Bucs today is
that's news. Pretty huge.
Nice. Pretty huge. I think that if he can stay healthy, this is a team, I think, and we've seen what Tom Brady does with legendary receivers and like guys later in their careers, the ABs, the Randy Mosses. He targets those guys. He loves those guys. So I think Julio Jones is
especially against Atlanta.
Yeah, if he is on the field this year, I think you look for Julio Jones to have a big year, in my opinion.
Yes.
Sell the Russell Gage stock.
Yes. But other than that, Russell Gage. You got Russell Gage, don't you?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No comment.
Fifth.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You got some work to do. You got some other work to think about too.
Hey,
so anyway,
after.
So that's pop culture we have for this week. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe out there. If you're in St. Louis or anywhere in the surrounding area, hope you're staying afloat. Thoughts are with you. You guys have a good week. See you guys next week. Kisses.
Love you guys. Deuces.
Peace.